Hey guys, what's up? My name's Tony, and I've just been hearing a lot of, in light of all this that's going on with racial tension and just a lot of things going on in our nation. A couple people have asked me the question, kind of like, what are your thoughts about the whole situation? And I thought it'd be easy, since a couple people asked, to just make this video to kind of just display and kind of just flush out the ideas fully. So let's get into it. So I've heard some variety of different views swinging from, oh, well, you black people, you guys just kill each other all the time anyway. You guys kill each other all the time and no one says anything. And I've heard, even black people on the other side saying, I hate white people, screw white people, F white people. I've heard both sides of the spectrum, and people saying, well, white people are our enemies. And even if they are our enemies, Jesus said we should love them too. Jesus commands us to love our enemies. I'm not saying white people are enemies, but Jesus commanded that even if you want to hold that view, you still have to love them. Now, why do I bring it up? I just want to personally share a story, because I know someone personally who was unjustly murdered, like George Floyd. Unjustly murdered like him. It happened 2,000 years ago. The Bible in Psalms 22 says they beat him so bad they could see his bones. They beat him so bad his bones were disjointed. And mind you, he was a just man. He was a righteous man. He was holy. And they beat him that badly. And after they beat him, they told him to get up and carry that old rugged cross with him all the way down to Calvary. And as he went down to Calvary, they hung him up, put nails in his hand, put a crown of thorns in his head, and then they gambled for the clothes off his very back, and mocked him and laughed at him and watched him die. And I say that to say because it hurts. But the reality is this. Because his life mattered, because Christ's life mattered, my life matters. Because Christ's life matters, the white man's life matters. Because Christ's life mattered, the Asian girl's life mattered. Because Christ's life mattered, everyone's life matters. And I say this to say is that we need to know Jesus. It's, the problem in our world right now with this whole racial tension, the problem's not skin, it's sin. The problem's not the fact that I'm black and that someone else is white or that someone else is Chinese. No, the problem is that there's sin in all of our hearts. And the reality is there's only one remedy for it. It's Jesus Christ. Because the reality is people in church want racial reconciliation. The problem is people need to be righteously reconciled with God. And once we're righteously reconciled with God, we can now sit down and I can be racially reconciled with other people, because now I can look at them and say, hey, Chinese girl, white guy, Puerto Rican man, we're all part of the same sinful race. Humanity. We're all human. So we're all part of the same sinful human race. But once I can recognize that because of Jesus Christ, I can be reconciled with him, then it allows me to reconcile with others around me and have the love of Christ to them. Jesus says this: the greatest command is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and strength, and to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And your neighbor is just not the guy that lives across the street in the apartment complex or your suburban neighbor. No, your neighbor is humanity. We need to love each other. And so I just don't want to have people have that perspective, is that we need to look at things through the eyes of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Because he died and rose again, his life mattered. And if we believe in him, it allows us to understand and see that everyone's life matters. I want to add this last verse before I close out, is that Romans chapter 3 verse 23 says, for all. Yeah. Korean, black, white, Japanese, Nigerian, Saudi Arabian, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. And so also the Bible also says in John chapter 3 verse 16, for God so loved the world, every country, every nation, every tribe in that nation, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever should believe in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. So please turn and believe in Jesus Christ. He's the only remedy for our broken state of humanity.